your book to be both inspiring and informative. And one of the things that you touched on was dispelling many of the common myths, and there are so many, that goes along with being homeschoolers. Can you speak to one or two of your favorites that you would like to kind of challenge? Because we do have to it's more like apologetics, where we have to kind of come in and defend, if you will, or dispel those myths about homeschooling.
Yes, and you know the big one. You know which one I'm going to start with is the S word, and I call it the silly, S for silly, the socialization
True.
issue.
Mhm.
If I had $1 for every time someone said something to me about socialization, I'd have a lot
Mhm.
of money.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
know,
mhm.
socialization, you know, we really need to be serious and think about this. I mean, we learn to get along in our own families. I've always told my girls, if you can't get along with one another, how do you expect to get along with the rest of the world?
True.
Ch- Homeschoolers are with various ages. I know with our girls, they were in activity days and co-ops where it wasn't just sometimes just a class of 12-year-olds. It might be 10 to 15
Mhm.
year olds or whatever age. So they learn to get along with, and I love when I see the older kids interacting and helping the little ones. It's
Yes.
just so heartwarming. And so they learn so many wonderful things. And my for me personally, all three of my girls, I early on, had a lot of criticism. Didn't have
Mhm.
family on board with what we were doing, some of our family. But you know what? They came on board when they saw results. It took years, but they came on board. And and some of them are my biggest advocates right now. So it's really wonderful. But my girls and just because they've done what they've done doesn't make them successful. Who they are in the Lord is what's important. But for me, for our family, for our personal story, all three of my girls are our first one was a television news reporter. So that's pretty social. And she was a news reporter on public or on the news for 4 years. And then she
Yeah.
wanted to stay home because it's a hard job with children. She was on the news every night. And so
Mm.
she's home with her own social media business. Our middle daughter was a theater major. I just got to watch her and all exactly. We just got to see her
She's
this
not
weekend.
socialized at all.
Exactly. We got to see her this weekend. Oliver the musical. She's up there singing on stage and she's the theater major, and our youngest is a violin performance major, and she plays in front of hundreds of people. So I can definitely dispel the socialization myth with my own personal stories, and we
Mm.
all can, honestly, we all can, because our children certainly get along and do well in the world, especially if they're standing on the foundation of Jesus Christ and know who's he or she they are. And so I never please, if you're listening to this and you're starting out and you're wondering about socialization, please stop. Stop worrying about that. They
Mhm.
have so many opportunities within your family, and then whatever outreach you want to do. I haven't spoken to ministries. I mean, you might go to the local homeless shelter, or there are so many things you can do as a family to reach out and service and help other people. And what a wonderful opportunity for your child or for your children. I haven't spoken to this yet either, and it just popped into my head, but homeschooling gives you so much time, and your children get to explore things that they love and things that they want to do. I mentioned our youngest is a violin performance major in college right now. She would have never had the time to explore and
Mhm.
play her violin. She started at the age of
Mhm.
10. She fell in love with it, and she practiced. We live in Virginia, and we took her to lessons at the University of North Carolina, which is 2 hours away. And we drove her every Tuesday. She had her lesson, we had lunch, and we came home. We did that for 2 years, and she practiced for hours. Never would have had an opportunity to do that had she been
Mhm.
in public school. And I could tell other stories. All of our daughters have had so many opportunities that have just opened doors for them in adulthood. Even something as simple as my oldest daughter loved to quilt, and she took a little quilting class with a homeschool group, and that's how she started. And so now she still can sew and do all of these wonderful things that her mother can't do at all. So she had the opportunity to do those things. The other thing I want to speak to is you don't have to have a teaching degree.
No.
You do not, and you don't even have to have a college degree, believe it or not. It's true, to homeschool. If you have the desire to learn alongside your child, that is what's important. I learned more homeschooling my 3 girls than I ever learned in my years of education. Right, exactly. I learned so much and had so much fun learning it,
Yeah.
either learning something new, or learning it for the second time or the third time. I
Mm.
loved it. So please don't feel inadequate if that is you, because God equips and enables those of us who have the heart to pour into our children.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And you don't have to do it in your own strength either. You can do it
No,
in his.
in his
Mm.
strength. And you know what? He gives you opportunities. I'm terrible at math. I'm terrible. I'm an English major. I love, and so math is not easy for me. But I married a man who went through calculus 4. So my husband took over math at algebra 2. Uh, I'm not good at science either. But I had a group of wonderful ladies in our co-op who loved science and who every week took our older 2 girls, and did science and labs with them. So
Mhm.
there are outsourcing. If you live near a local university, you really need to reach out, because sometimes they love homeschoolers to come in and do different things within the university.
Mhm, mhm.
Libraries, there's I mentioned co-ops, and if you don't have one nearby, talk to some ladies that start something, do the science labs together, or there's just a lot of those kind of things where God gives you ideas to reach out to other people and have that part of the community, have that community as well.
Yes, you don't have to do it all yourself. Create that community. And if
Hmm.
there's not one, create one.
Hmm.
And there's such comfort in community. Yes, you don't have to know it. You're never going to anyway.
No,
Learn
and
as you go.
exactly, and it's a wonderful lesson. Isn't it a wonderful lesson for our children when you learn alongside them and you say, I don't know that either. Let's research that, or you know, you're interested in that. It's just a wonderful learning opportunity for them as well, to see you learning alongside them and admitting that you don't know everything.
Yes, absolutely. One of that we use so many phrases in our house because I love words. That's my strength. My husband he's an engineer, so he does the math and he'll blow up the kitchen and clean it up. But I'm fine with that. I like watching it, that's cool, but I don't want to do it.
That's
So
me.
I'm grateful that he will. I pay someone to teach math. It is what it is, and that's okay.
That is
But
great.
I know my strengths and I know how to surround myself with people who know more than I do. And that's okay. But one of our phrases is always learning, always growing. And we are
We
from alpha
are.
to omega. And that is okay. Be okay with that. Be
I
okay with
love that.
that.
Yes, I love that.